Hello VC, this is video number 10 and a little bit unheralded because 2 videos in one day, and that's a first for me to do that. You're listening to this on a CD, obviously, not vinyl, because I don't have it on vinyl. I only have it on CD and just got this recently. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. Going to be a little bit of a Philistine and talk about CDs on the VC. And by that, I don't mean I'm going to talk about, I've got Pink Floyd on CD. I'm going to talk about, if it's okay, we'll see. I don't want to have the VC faithful storming my door with pitchforks here, but we'll see how it goes. I thought I would talk about some CDs that I have that are not available on vinyl that I know of, with some great music. I've talked about CDs and vinyl way back on my first video. I think everybody that came on here was or I've heard a lot of people that came on here that said they thought CDs were the wave of the future back in the 80s, and so they dumped their vinyl, and sorry that they did, and then later they got back into vinyl. Kind of more for me, it was when whoever invented eBay. I sold a lot of stuff that I wish I hadn't sold now. But I always, I had CDs, and from back when I got a stereo with a CD player on it back, I want to say 85 or so. So I've always, they have their use, and remember that when they first came out, and you'd see the guys in the store, and they'd always be playing Brothers in Arms. That was one of them, or Dark Side of the Moon, and oh, listen to the clarity, listen to the clarity. I never disliked CDs, but I was not. I always thought they were kind of sterile compared to vinyl, even back in the 80s when everyone was supposed to be riding the wave of the future, which doesn't mean that I didn't buy tons of CDs and that they're not great for the car and so forth. And nowadays when you get a vinyl album, a lot of times it comes with a download card, which is great because you can put it on your iTunes, but the best is when it comes with a CD as well as the album, because you can have it play in the car. You can still put it on your iTunes. But I do remember in the 90s, I saw a copy of the first Beatles album, the Beatles anthology, the first album, on vinyl at Borders Bookstore, and that kind of hit me strange because I was thinking, I didn't know people really made vinyl anymore other than sort of some of the little indie bands and stuff. But anyway, I'm rambling. It's been a long week, and maybe that's why I'm making 2 videos today, because I'm bored. It's all week covering a trial, murder trial, which those are fun, but they take a lot of time. It's just not fun that somebody got murdered. It's the trials are fun to cover. Wrote a big Sunday story, and it's just been a really long week, and so I'm glad the weekend's here. And I was really tired, but now I'm just sort of bored and hanging around the house because I'm too tired to go out and do anything. So anyway, some CDs I wanted to talk about that are, I think, really great stuff that never came out on albums that I know of. This one we'll start with, Girl Group Sounds. This is a Rhino set, looks like an old hat box that came out, and I didn't know, apparently this is out of print now. This came out, what was it, 10 years ago maybe? Seems like I say 10 years ago for everything. But it's, if you love the girl group bands of the early 60s, and I do, I put the Shangri-Las up there with almost anybody, and a lot of those bands, then this is definitely a motherlode gold mine of a lot of bands you've heard of, and a lot of singers you've heard of, and a lot of them you never have. So you got 4 CDs, and that's, I don't know how many, 60, 70 some songs. It says diary, but it's a little book of all the And you got the Shangri-Las in here. You've got a lot of the big names and a lot of the never heard of names, the record labels. Um, so this is funny because there's one on here that is a Dolly Parton song, which doesn't sound anything like a Dolly Parton song, and apparently she started off late 50s, late 50s, early 60s, doing her country thing, and initially that didn't go anywhere, I think, and so about 62, 63, someone had the idea of let's turn her into a girl group singer, and she did 2 or 3 45s. Well, I've not heard the other two, but one of them is on here, and it's just good. You know, they didn't go anywhere, so she went back to country, and the rest is kind of history. And obviously, that was the right decision for her. But it's a great song on here, and I can't remember the name of it, and I don't want to go through 75 songs right now to find it. But yeah, and if you heard it, you wouldn't know it was her. Once you know it's her, you can kind of say, okay, yeah, I can hear that a little bit now, because she doesn't have the country twangy sound in this song. She sounds, I don't know, like a like like all the other girl group singer stuff of the era there, the 62, 63 era, and but there's really, and I Won't Tell by Tracy Day. That's a great song. That's kind of a great find for me. She had just a handful of singles. I don't think she ever actually put an album out. Uh, but this is just a jump in and dig in if you love girl group music from the early 60s, because there's like I said 75 or so songs on here, and it can fill up your time, and rewarding, very rewarding. And here's another one. Love Is the Song We Sing. I don't know how well that's going to show up. This is Rhino 2. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. And San Francisco Sound of 65 to 70. This is kind of like the like the Nugget sets. And this one also, if that's going to work, has a big thick book. About each song, and about the whole San Francisco scene. Some essays at the first, and it's 4 CDs that are in there. Great lineup of songs, and this is you get you get Jefferson Airplane, and you get Sly and the Family Stone, and you get Grateful Dead, and some of the people that Santana's on here, some of the people that you know, but you also get a lot of kind of one-hit wonder, or probably no-hit wonders, because a lot of these songs were never hits, but they're great stuff. And it's I don't know, about 50, 60 songs on here. Definitely worth checking out. I don't know if that's still in print or not, but if you see it, grab it. The other, go through these fairly quick. I always say that, and then it ends up being half an hour. I talked about these a little bit the other day because I just got a new version of it, a new copy of one of these. Sweet Soul Music, 1965. Was that 68? There's 65. Sweet Soul Music set, and Blowing the Fuse is the kind of sister compilation along with this. And Blowing the Fuse, here's a bunch of them, or some of them. Blowing the Fuse goes 1945 to I think 1962 or so. Sweet Soul Music goes from 63 or so up to 1970, and there the series ends. And this is put out by Bear Records, like Yogi and Boo Boo Bear, you remember them? Which is a German label. And So each one has, this one has 29 tracks, but that's about 25 to 30 tracks on each one from a given year. Each one comes with a kind of trifold sleeve and the record, and you get a book in each one that sort of has a song by song information about the recording, the song, the artist. And the great thing about this series, well, the R&B stuff, because you're going back in 45 and the 50s, there's a lot of stuff that, unless you're really, really into that, that's not that familiar. But the Sweet Soul Music series is that it has the big names. There are a few people that they don't have because they couldn't get licensing, I suppose. But it has the big names mixed with kind of the more obscure things. And so you have here, you got Smokey and the Miracles, Second That Emotion, Otis Redding, Dock of the Bay, Sly Stone, Dance to the Music, Percy Sledge. But then you've got Peggy Scott and JoJo Benson, Clarence Carter, Barbara Acklin, The Occasions, Al Wilson. We've got Marvin Gaye down at the end, Heard It Through the Grapevine. So what I like about this is you find some stuff that, or I had found some stuff that I wasn't aware of before, and I love soul music and the old R&B music, but mixing the kind of more obscure with the things you've heard a trillion times, I think it works because when you're listening to the stuff that you haven't heard, you're kind of, hey, this is pretty good, and what is this? Let me check this out. And then when something like I Heard It Through the Grapevine comes on right after that or in the middle of that, you're already in a listening intently mode, I guess. So you kind of listen to Grapevine with fresh ears, and I think that sort of is fun or good to do every once in a while, because you kind of, okay, so that's why it was such a great song. Or you might even notice something that you hadn't heard the first 10 million times you heard the song, I think. And so that's there's 25 of these, and I'm slowly but surely getting, well, slowly, I've got 8 of them. There's 25 in the whole set. So yeah, and these I think they're still in print. I don't know. I've been getting them from Amazon that has them. They're pretty pricey. The Amazon price on these is like $30 a pop, 25 to $30 a pop. But I've gone on where Amazon, and they have new and used copies, and so I've gotten them for like $14, 13, $14 a pop. And some of them that I bought used, and they were shrink wrapped and had never been opened, so they're basically new. So I guess somebody, I don't know how that works. Somebody goes out and buys them for $30 and sells them for 14, or I'm not sure how it works, but works out for me. So and even at $14, well, I don't know. It's a nice package. It's really, every one of these is kind of like this, so it's a great package. I always wonder, they call a lot of the music today R&B. I don't know, to me this is R&B. I don't know how Beyonce and In Vogue and stuff like that came to be termed R&B, because I mean, if you like it, I'm not wanting to put it down. I find it kind of bland, that type of music, but it doesn't sound like this. Sounds like R&B to me, not that stuff. Beyonce's cute, don't get me wrong. We'll stick with Rhino because that's what I picked up. I think both of these are probably out of print by now, but Wilson Pickett is a 6 CD set. A lot of great stuff in there, and nice packaging. Also, if I can do this without. Bunch of, we find something that has a picture of it. That's just a bunch of text. So get a book and 6 CDs worth of Wilson Pickett goodness. Same thing, Rhino, Percy Sledge box set. I think this is the complete Atlantic recordings. 4 CDs, 5 CDs. Yeah, 4, I guess. And this is good stuff. Because, you know, everybody's heard When a Man Loves a Woman way too many times, probably. But this is kind of a revelation, because it shows that Sledge has got a lot of great songs other than just that one hit. And it's kind of a country soul type of sound. And it's really good stuff. Kent Records, Take Me to the River, Southern Soul Story of 1961 to 77 is a 2 or 3 CDs in here. Yeah, 3 CDs. And also comes with a book. Yeah, a booklet. It's like a hardback book in a case. And there's about 75 songs on this set. And so Southern Soul stuff. Great record. And a lot of great songs on there, I should say. So here are, I don't have all of them, but James Brown, the complete singles for, they go by year, 64 to 65. This is the first one, which is 56 to, 56 to 60. And 72, 73. And I think these go through volume 11, 79 to 81 is the last one. So 11 volumes of this, and they're, I don't know if you can see where it says limited edition. I believe they're still in print. So if you think James Brown is just the hits of Cold Sweat, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, and that's all you know, then this will educate you to just how great he is, because there's just tons and tons of stuff that hits and non-hits, and a lot of times the non-hits are as good or better than the hits. And it's you're thinking, because I mean 56 to and he recorded past 1981. I don't know, other than Living in America, I don't know that he had any hits or how good his stuff is really past 81. But this and you'd think the 79 to 81 would be pretty weak, and it's not as great as the stuff from the 60s or the 70s, obviously, but and a little bit of this kind of disco, that cheesy disco stuff that doesn't really fit James Brown, but there's some good stuff on here. I got this, I almost didn't get it because I thought, you know, that one, by that time he's not going to have been in decline and not be very good, but some good stuff on this. And I mean, the 70s and the 60s is, I mean, it's James Brown, and what can you say? It's just all greatness. The thing about these is they came out in their limited edition, and I got several of them they would come out, they would put one out every 6 months or so, and I got several of them, but I didn't hear about it until volume 4 or 5 was out, and by that time 1 through 3 was it sold out pretty quickly, and they were on eBay, not eBay, they were on Amazon used, but they were like $60 a piece or something like that. So what happened though was they planned to do a box set, is what I've heard, that they planned to do a box set, so they held some back, and plans for the box set fell through, so they went ahead and released, they had several copies of volume 1 and 2 around, so they went ahead and just released them. So I don't know if they're still around or not, but like I said, there's 11 volumes. Pick it up if you can. You won't be sad that you did. Um, Slim Gaillard, never know how to say his name. Slim Gaillard, jazz guy. That's kind of a goofy, fun guy, but great music on top of it. He owned I think he owned a famous jazz club in San Francisco in back in the like the 50s and maybe early 60s. Um, and he recorded. This is 1938 to 52, so it might have been in the 50s when he did that. But anyway, some great jazz and scat singing, and some of it's funny, some of it's serious, all of it's good. Phil Spector set. I guess they send him his money in jail now. I don't know, but anyway, these are his first. I think there's a volume 2 to this, but you got the Crystals, got the Ronettes, and these are supposed to be duplicates of the original albums. That's just a hit album. Um, the Crystals again. Two of these Crystals are basically the same album with maybe a song or two's difference that were released just a few months apart. But I guess that's okay. Bobby Sox, Crystals again, and Phil's Flip Sides, which is those are all instrumental. I listened to this a few times and it's kind of boring. It's mainly just instrumental music. There's a couple of cuts on there that are good, but and comes with a booklet of which is pretty cool. It is. I said all of these are only on CD and not on album, as far as I know. These actually did come out on album. Sundazed has put all of these out on vinyl about a year after this came out. So there's a couple of these that I wouldn't mind having on vinyl. So someday maybe. This I'm sure there's vinyl on this, but I don't know if there's. This is Sam Cooke, the complete Sam Cooke and the Soul Stirrers, which was the gospel group he was in before he went solo and began recording secular music. He was in what was it, the Highway QCs, I think, and then in the Soul Stirrers, and then he went off on his own and became a pop singer. So 3 CDs, Sam Cooke gospel music. It's great stuff. You can't go wrong with Sam Cooke. One of the best singers ever, I think. Did a story on a guy in Cleburne who is the guy now that I did talk to for the story. He's 60-something. His father and some of the other guys in town back in the 50s had a gospel group that sang on the radio. Cleburne is about 25, 30 miles from Fort Worth, Texas. And they sang on the radio every Sunday. They had a gospel group. And they also went around the area of Texas, and they would bring other gospel groups into Cleburne. And John, the guy that, this is the son of the guy that had the gospel group. He's passed away now. He's no longer living, but his son told me that they brought the Soul Stirrers to town that played the local high school in Cleburne, Texas, and that in fact that was when Sam Cooke was with them. And I talked to the group that his dad was in, was called the Gospel Heirs, and there were some people kind of came and went, but there were basically 5 members that started, the original members, and then, like I said, some of them left and others filled in. But anyway, I talked to some of the other kids. Well, not kids now, they're all in their 60s and stuff now, and they also remembered that Sam Cooke played Cleburne, Texas, and this would have been Soul Stirrers quite a bit before he was the Soul Stirrers were famous, and he was too with them, but I mean, this was before he was famous. So that's pretty cool, because Cleburne's just a little town of 30,000 people or so. I don't know, less cool. Pretty cool, but not as cool as Sam Cooke. Lawrence Welk played there too, at a old hotel in downtown Cleburne way back when. So that's two more real quick. The Move Anthology. It's one of the kind of lesser known British invasion bands, or later. They kind of came around in '66 or so, a little later than the Beatles and Rolling Stones and all. If you've never heard The Move, that's worth checking out. And I got this off, I don't know what it's cost now, but this was on Amazon, and I got this several years ago, and it was only like 19 bucks or something. And there are 4 CDs in this and a book. So if you like Yardbirds, Kinks, Beatles, Who, all that good stuff, you want to check out The Move. This one, what it is, Funky Soul and Rare Grooves. I did see this on vinyl once at Forever Young Records in Irving, and I don't know, but it was some kind of limited edition or something, the vinyl version. I know it cost like 99. They wanted 99 bucks for it, so I didn't. Just a lot of I don't think there's. Oh yeah, there's pictures in there. And I haven't played this one in a while, but there's 4 CDs of just funk and soul stuff, and there's Curtis Mayfield on the cover of that one. So yeah, that's good stuff. And with that, I believe that is that. So like I said, I know it's the VC, not the CDC, but I just thought I'd try to sneak in a few CDs that are worth your time and not on vinyl, I don't believe. And so thanks again to everyone that's watched, and put one up here a couple hours ago where I was talking about 45s. Watch that if you're not already asleep from watching this, and have a good one. We'll talk to you. Bye.